Good morning, Gurgaon. Good morning, Noida. Good morning. Okay, good morning, North India. How are you doing today? I didn't hear anything. How are you doing today? Cool. So you just now saw Salim chose this jelly bean over anarkali. And if I give you a choice, this jelly bean or this jelly bean, which one will you choose? I didn't hear anything. Which one will you choose? Okay, so we all are developers over here, right? We all are software engineers. Some of us are testers. Some of us are designers. But when it comes to choosing which candidate is smarter among the two, there is one common technique we employ. What is that? Interviews. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to interview this jelly bean, and I'm going to interview this jelly bean, and then without any bias, we are going to decide which candidate is smarter. Sounds cool? You can see the phone on both the screens? Yes, no? Okay, so let's try interviewing our Android jelly bean. Who is the Prime Minister of India?
The Prime Minister of India is Manmohan.
Sound, yeah, I'll just do it again, no issues. Who is the Prime Minister of India?
The Prime Minister of India is Manmohan Singh.
There is really no reason to clap. Whom I'm kidding. Manmohan Singh has been the Prime Minister before the first version of Android was launched. So who knows? That information is hard-coded over there in the operating system as a public static final variable. Nobody knows. Let's try out something else. Who is the President of India?
The President of India is Pranab Mukherjee.
And now how many of you really knew it? You want to see some more magic like this? You don't want to see? Shall I close down the demo? You want to see some more magic like this? That was not the part of it. What is the birth date of Akbar?
Akbar was born in 1542.
How old is Kareena Kapoor?
Kareena Kapoor is 31 years old.
And I have no business in going in the personal lives of these Bollywood stars. But just one last question because I am on this topic. How old is Saif Ali Khan? Okay, probably didn't understand. How old is Saif Ali Khan?
Genghis Khan died at the age of 65.
One last question we'll try. Okay, one last question we'll try because there are a couple of more demos that I want to show. Who is Aishwarya Rai married to?
Aishwarya Rai spouses Abhishek Bachchan.
So what I demonstrated just now is an amazing product that comes free, shipped free with jelly beans, and that is called Google Now. And Google Now is not just about voice recognition or understanding my question and answering it. It's much beyond that. Google Now is exactly what its name indicates. Google Now. Taking the now, the present, with you wherever you go, whenever you go. I'll show you an example. What is the weather outside?
It's 30 degrees with haze in Gurgaon.
I did not say what is the weather in Gurgaon or Gurgaon or whatever. I just said what is the weather outside. It understood that I am in Gurgaon, and it tried to, was able to fetch the weather information, and then it showed it to me. This is what I mean when I say taking the present with you wherever you go. I am from Bangalore, so let's see what is the weather in Bangalore. Is it raining in Bangalore right now?
No, it isn't raining in Bangalore. It's 21 degrees and mostly cloudy.
Cool. So, and just for the record, these are not some hard-coded queries. You can actually ask a couple of questions and it will be able to answer you that. But it's not just about voice search. I'll tell you what I mean by syncing the current present with you. So as you can see there at the end, at the bottom, there is this button. If I scroll it down, it will be able to show me a couple of personalized cards based on my current searches and based on my current visits. So for example, a couple of weeks ago, I was in Noida. It understood that and told me that you are in Gurgaon just now and you probably have 1 hour 20 minutes distance to cover till Noida. It will also showing me that the hotel in which I am staying is how far from here, where it is situated in Delhi, and so on. It's also showing me the weather of the current place. So that is all about Google Now, which comes bundled with Jelly Beans. There are a lot of many more demos for Jelly Beans that will come up after this session, so stay tuned to it. So ladies and gentlemen, please give a big hand to Google Now. So what I did in last 5 minutes and what I plan to do in next 20-25 minutes is to take one Google product and show you how it can change your life, how it can make you feel good, how it can make your daily browsing experience more beautiful. So let's take yet another use case. If you all are like me, and probably you all are, then you access your emails and your websites on multiple browsers, multiple computers. So for example, you have probably your home laptop at home, and then there is office workstation in the office, and then there is a PDA device like an Android tablet. So let's take a common scenario. Say I wake up in the morning, get ready for the office. Fortunately, Google provides a cab for going to the office. So I'm waiting for my cab driver to come. And meanwhile, I decide to catch up on the world. So I decide to open, say, a couple of news sites. Can we have a laptop projected both places? Okay, so you can see my laptop over here. I'm probably going to the hindu.com to see what is happening in the current world. And also I'm a techie, so in a different tab while this is loading, I'm going to go to techcrunch.com. I'm also a Sudoku lover, but I don't know what site to go for. So I'm just going to search for Sudoku and just go to whichever first site comes in. Let's go to TechCrunch. Let's see what is there. Obama's pitch brings blah, blah, which Facebook stock I should buy. Let me see what Facebook stock I should buy. I'm probably browsing through a couple of articles, and then my cab driver gives me a missed call. So what this means is that the cab is ready downstairs. I have to move to office now. So I pack up my bag. I go to the office. While going to the office, probably now, suppose you're reading this article and it's very interesting. What you will typically do is you'll go to office. You'll again open up the browser. Remember that I was reading an article on Facebook. Open that article, continue reading. If you are really interested in knowing how to buy Facebook stock and when to buy, you'll probably open up your PDA in your cab itself, browse to that site, and start reading about it. Let's see how Chrome can make a difference in our lives. So now I am in cab, and on one of the screens, can we change it to have mobile on one? Actually, both of them you can put mobile. Okay, so you can see my cell phone now on both of the screens. I'm in the cab. I'll show you what I'm going to do to start with. This is not required further, but I'll just walk you through. So I go to settings, I go to this Google, and you can see over there, I'm already signed in into this phone. So I go over there, it's the only first time that you have to do. I go to this account, and to start with, I'm just going to sync all the applications that are on my phone. Once that is done, I launch Chrome, and you can see all the 3 tabs that were open on my home computer are synced exactly like that on my mobile without me remembering what tab was where. Let's go to this Facebook stock, for example, and you can see it is loading exactly the Facebook stock page that I was reading earlier. And one more interesting thing, if I press the back button, it is actually remembering the back history of the browser and going back to the page from which I came to the Facebook page. So it's not just the tab, it's the entire browser history that gets synced across all the Chrome instances on which I was signed in. There is yet another thing in Chrome that I want to demonstrate. How many of you have heard of Chrome Web Store? A lot of them. Cool. So Chrome Web Store just establishes the idea that the browser is your operating system and the applications on the browser are actually your applications. So I'll show you a simple application called BeatLab, which just my friend mentioned that there is a cool application that called BeatLab that you should check out. I don't know what is BeatLab, how it is to be installed and all that. So I just go to the Chrome Web Store. You can see I'm going to the Chrome Web Store. On the left hand side, I'll search for BeatLab. There is some BeatLab application. I'll just add it to the Chrome. That's it. It's one click addition. I don't have to do that in 5 steps setup, next stuff. It gets added, and as you can see, it's not just added over here. It will get added to all the Chrome instances that have been signed in by me on multiple devices. So I go to BeatLab. I have no clue what is doing, but let's just try this. Okay, interesting. Okay, so it's as simple as installing the application using one click and probably working with this application. There are a couple of more interesting things about Chrome, but there will be more sessions throughout the day that you can visit for learning more about how to deal with Chrome, how to have multiple users. For example, just quick example, on Chrome you can sign in with multiple users. You can see this on the right side. There are a couple of users that have already been signed in, and if I change the user, the entire browsing history, the entire bookmarks, current tab list, everything gets changed in that moment without any delay. So that was all about the Chrome demo. So as I said, instead of showing a lot of stuff, what I'm planning to do is take one product and probably show 1 or 2 features of each product. So we talked about Google Now and Android. We talked about Chrome. Let's move on to something else, probably say Google Drive. How many of you have heard what is Google Drive? Most of them. So you all know that Google Drive is your drive on the cloud, and it goes with you wherever you go. Here is how you open Google Drive. So this is a Google Drive, and there are a couple of documents over here. I can create a document. For example, I can say I want to create a document. Okay. I want to create a document and I want to start typing in it. So let's take a simple scenario. Suppose we are all in office, most likely multiple different offices, and it's usually a need that we need to collaborate amongst each other while we are not in the same physical location. So for example, it could be design notes, it could be interview feedback of a candidate, it could be brainstorming notes or something else. So let's assume that I am probably in this Delhi office, and I have a colleague, Prasanna, who is probably in New York office, but just now for a demo, I'm going to invite him on the stage. So may I request Prasanna from Google to please join me on stage. Please give a big hand to Prasanna. So Prasanna is going to help us in this demo. We're going to assume that Prasanna is probably in New York office. So we want to have Prasanna's screen here and my screen here. And you probably need to have one eye on this screen and one eye on this screen to see what happens. So we had decided earlier that we want to do some kind of just one screen. So earlier in the day, we wanted to we had decided that we wanted to do some kind of brainstorming. So what I'm going to do is I have opened up a document. I'm going to title it as, say, Crazy Ideas. Created a document. Look at what I'm doing on my screen, and I'm now going to share it with Prasanna. The way I do it is I click share, I add Prasanna, I make sure that I have given edit access to him because he wants to edit the document. Share and save. You see Prasanna already got the document on his screen, and now he is putting a line. I'm probably going to write on the top of the line, he's going to write on the bottom of the line, and as you can see, as he's typing on this screen, I'm not doing anything, but all the notes are also synced at the same time on my computer also. So this is how Google Docs can be used for doing real-time collaboration. I'll give you an example. So for example, I'm going to type at the start of the line. Probably I'll change font color to say red. So whatever I'm typing on my screen is at the real time seen on Prasanna's computer is the same document. We are collaborating with each other. Now I'll show you something interesting. A few days ago, entire North India was blacked out because of some power problem. So even if the technology is so advanced, getting away from the internet, probably not having electricity is a very common thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, probably very risky, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off my machine from the network. I need to disconnect Wi-Fi here. I'm going to cut off my machine from the network. I'll just make sure that the Wi-Fi gets disconnected so that thank you. Okay, and I'm still going to type a couple of things. Let me you can see that I'm typing on the top, which is certainly not appearing on the Prasanna screen because I'm offline, and whatever he's typing is not appearing over here. Okay, and then the power comes back probably. So let me plug back the cable. Now you can see that on my screen, what Prasanna typed a couple of minutes ago has appeared, and on Prasanna's screen, what I typed probably like 5 minutes ago has appeared over here. So this collaboration is not just real time, but if you are not online, it will understand, it will sync your doc offline, and as soon as it gets chance to sync it together, it will do it at that point in time. So that was all about Google Drive. Well, there are a couple of more demos that I can probably show you. For example, I remember that I have a receipt. I probably visited Barcelona a couple of days ago and I had to submit a receipt. But I don't remember what was that receipt. I had just uploaded it on Google Drive and I had no clue what was the name of the receipt. Only one small thing I remember is that there was some small word called taxi in that receipt. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just search for this taxi, and I have this Barcelona cab.jpg. It doesn't have taxi in its name or description, but I still get this document. And if I open this document, you can see that, can you find where is that word taxi in this document? Somewhere over here. Okay, so it was able to understand, it was able to recognize the characters from the image, and it was able to search the document based on the characters in the image. There is one more thing I want to show you. Let's try searching for Apple. I get a couple of pics. None of them has description called Apple, and there is no word called Apple in the pictures. Let's see what happens. This picture is actually an Apple logo. It understood that the image is Apple logo, and without even there being a word called Apple over there, it was able to figure out that this image is somewhere related to Apple. Not just that, look at this. It's a random hand-drawn sketch which looks like an apple. It's not even an apple, somebody might call it just a freehand or whatever. Still it was able to figure out when I did a search for an apple. And of course, there is no wonder that actual apple it was able to find out as an apple. So the drive search is not just text-based search or image-based search, but text-based search inside an image or text-based search for titles and description, but it's also a search based on what is content of the image, so actual image search. There are a couple of more interesting stuff about Google Drive that you will come across throughout the entire day. Let's move on to one of the next products, the Google Hangouts. So what is a Hangout? What is a Hangout?
A live video streaming chat.
A live video streaming. So the most commonly accepted definition of a Hangout is that it is a live streaming with chat. Well, Hangout is actually much more than that. The magic of Hangout starts where the magic of live streaming and chat ends. Let me show you an example. Now in this next role, let's assume that Prasanna and myself were good friends in college long back. And after the college, we have not seen each other for, say, a couple of years. And one fine evening, I suddenly get a ping from Prasanna saying, hey, Neelesh, I heard you're in Bangalore. I'm in town. Let's catch up. Okay, and then probably we would say, I would have replied that, cool, let's meet this weekend. And then probably a couple of friends who were there in our group at that time, I would have said, they are also in Bangalore. We'll catch up with them and so on. But if he was really such a good friend in college, then after so many years, when he pings me, the first instinct that I have is I want to meet this guy right here, right now, and probably recollect those school days that we had in college together. Let's see how Google can help us. So instead of saying that, hey Prasanna, let's meet up, I'm going to say, hey Prasanna, let's hang out. And I'm going to invite him to an hangout. So here is a hangout that I'm going to start. I'm going to add prasanna.gday@gmail.com. I'm going to say hangout. Look on the Prasanna screen. Prasanna has got an invite for the hangout. Prasanna is joining the hangout. And Prasanna.gday has joined the hangout, and we are probably chatting and all that. Nothing great so far, right? This is exactly what a video conference can do. I'll show you something else. Here is something called Google Effects. Let me click on this. Prasanna, I remember Prasanna was a pirate in a college drama, that skit that we had a couple of days ago. And if he can put those things, I also want to randomize something. Wow, my birthday joker. And not just that, look at this. Okay, it's able to recognize my face and it's able to move those props along with me wherever I move. Okay, fine. So let me just remove them off. But that's not all. When a couple of friends meet together, one of the common things that you want to do is go and watch a movie. So let's see if we can do that using the Hangout. So there is a very nice YouTube app integrated over here. It's in the top. So I'm going to say YouTube. And I remember that we used to watch a lot of movies in college together. So let's see if I can add a couple of movies over here. I'm not able to scroll this. Yeah. I'm not able to scroll this to where the movie has to be added. How do you do that? Because of the resolution. I'll find out if he can do it. Are you able to start the movie? Yeah, you can just add videos to playlist and start. So, yeah, Andaz apna apna. So on Prasanna's screen, you can see that he can add a video. It's not just me who started the Hangout, but even the person who has joined the Hangout, he can add, for example, he's added, it's okay, he started. It's okay, he started, and the same movie starts on even my screen and his screen. It's not just that. Let's see what happens. I don't want to go to the start titles and all that. Whichever place I sing in the movie or whichever place he sings in the movie, all the participants in the Hangout go exactly to that place. So it's exactly watching a movie along with each other the way you will watch in a movie hall. And of course, if I want to talk something over this, I can just say push to talk and hello, I'll be able to talk. Okay, so okay, so that is how you can probably change the experience of a get-together and make it exactly as what you would do when your a couple of group of friends is online. So crowd is not at all happy or what? Okay, that was I wanted to hear. Okay, so joke aside, but the reason I wrapped up this quickly is that this is probably just a Googler pitching around a couple of Google technologies. What is more interesting is to hear all this information or something more from a third party or an application developer who has used Google products, who has used their APIs, and who has used services and built a profitable business around it. So to demonstrate the same, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome CTO and co-founder of Orangescape, Mani Doraiswamy, and his colleague Dinesh on the stage, who will talk about their application called KissFlow and how they used Google APIs and made a profitable business around it. Welcome, Mani. Hi.
Thank you, Neelesh. So good morning, everybody. Fantastic. My name is Mani Doraiswamy, and this is Dinesh Varadarajan. Both of us are from Orangescape. And we are here to talk about a new product called KissFlow. Sounds a very interesting name, isn't it? So how many of you know what a kiss is? Go ahead. I mean, remember, we are not coming for a Bollywood movie here. We came for a technology conference. So what does kiss mean in a technology conference? Go ahead. Keep it simple and silly. That's close. So I think a lot of them ask for this. Keep it simple and straight. Yeah, all these things are right. So you get a couple of mugs here, if we can have a mug, or probably claim it after this talk, right? So it means keep it simple and smart in our terminology, because we don't want to call it keep it simple and silly, right? It looks very naive. So KissFlow means keep it simple and smart workflows. That is what this product is all about. It was launched a month back at Google I/O, and it was also covered in TechCrunch. So just to give you a feel for what this product is all about, Neelesh demonstrated one end of the spectrum, the consumer applications on Google. We are going to demo the other half, which is the business part of Google products. What can you build for businesses? That is what KissFlow is all about. It's about building workflows. So if some of you have used workflow applications in the past, typically it is meant for automating your day-to-day email kind of approvals. Let's say, for example, you all came from different parts of India to Delhi to attend this conference. When you go back to your offices, you would typically claim the expenses that you have incurred by sending a mail to your manager, and then the manager will then forward your expenses to the finance department, which will then reimburse your money back, right? And free food, free conference, free travel. That's what workflow is all about. But we do that typically in mails. But suppose your company has grown beyond 100 users, 1,000 users, then sending this all via emails becomes hard. You need a system where you can track all of these workflows. That's what KissFlow is all about. So typically, if you're already using your Google Apps product, you would be familiar with mail, docs, calendar, and stuff like that. There is also a product called Google Forms and Spreadsheets, on which you can build very simple data capture applications. But then when you want to build slightly sophisticated enterprise applications, like the travel claim workflow that I was talking about, then you need to use a product called Google App Engine. It's a very powerful cloud platform on which you can build any kind of business application. But then to build applications on top of Google App Engine, you have to be a developer superhero. You need to learn language like Python, Java, understand concepts like Bigtable to be able to build such applications. Now we thought, how would it be if we can leverage the power of Google App Engine, but make that workflow development as simple as using Google Apps? That's KissFlow is all about. Let's take a quick look at how this product looks like in the real time. Now, you can see that the product has a very similar user experience as Google Apps. Now, typically in a company, there are two types of users. One user who is responsible for creating this process, and then he publishes it to the end users, and the end users will be able to initiate workflow and participate in the workflow, right? So in our case, we call this company as Dark Knight Enterprises. We ask our superhero, Bruce Wayne, to develop this process. KissFlow gives you a very simple 5-step wizard to do that. So you have first step, naming the process. Then you can develop a very simple form to capture the elements of a travel claim. For example, we have purpose of the claim, description, place, expense type. We can add another field, like for example, what is the date on which you want to travel, right? So we can call it as a travel date, for example. So we will say it's a date field, and then we will make it as a required field. It looks very similar to Google Forms, but then it has a lot more sophisticated features. For example, in this case, I'm going to add another field called amount, which captures the amount that I want to capture in the travel claim, right? So again, we will save this, and you get a feel for how a form can be quickly created. Then in the next step, you can go and create the workflow steps. So for example, in an email, you will have 2 levels of approvals. First, you will send it to your manager. Then you will send it to the finance department, right? So we will add the first step as manager approval. So for example, in this case, for the manager approval, let's assign this to Selina Kale. You know who Selina Kale is? She's the Catwoman. So if you have seen the latest version of Batman, right? So we will assign it to Selina Kale. You can see that it gets synchronized directly from Google Apps. Now again, for the second step, let's assign this to finance approval. So if I add finance approval, I can assign this, instead of a single user, I can assign it to a group. Because typically if you have your manager and your finance department, you will know who your manager is upfront. But in finance department, there might be more than 1 or 2 people. So any one of these users can work on the item. So we can assign this to finance department. That's it. So in a business application that you thought will take weeks or even months of time, what we did is that we developed a workflow on top of Google App Engine in just 2 minutes. That's the power of this new product, KissFlow. Now, once you come to the user screen, the users who are responsible for initiating the workflow and then participating in the workflow, you can click on the initiate request and see your travel claim part of the list. I can click on travel claim initiation, and then you will exactly see the way in which we define the form in stage 2. So let's fill in this information. So we will say travel to G-Days India. I'm going to select Delhi as the place, and I'm going to select engineering expense. Let's make the engineering bear our travel expense for traveling all the way to Delhi. We will say the amount as 2,500. And here is the cool thing. I can attach the Google Docs directly inside my application. So I can attach the flight ticket and the travel document if you have traveled from a different part of the world, for example, and I can submit this item. Once I submit this item, this goes to the next user, in this case, the manager approval, right? That was Selina Kale. So if I click on the item for approval, you will see the entire progress of the item. For example, if I click on progress, you will see it was initiated by Bruce Wayne, and it's waiting for Selina Kale for manager approval. Now, you get a full picture of what this workflow is all about, and then I can click on the approve button. So once I approve this, this then goes to the finance department. Now you get a feel for it. In less than 3 minutes, we were able to develop a full-fledged process, and then we were able to test the process as well. Now why do we do that? Because we want to be able to take reports out of it, right? That's the whole reason. Otherwise, the data will be lost inside emails, right? So let's click on Reports tab. Now, magically, the travel claim application is part of the Report tab. We didn't have to do any coding for creating a report or even for generating the reports. So if you look at the Reporting tab, I'll be able to see month-on-month travel claims. I'll be able to see how many claims have been totally made, how many has been completed as of now. So I click on the completed records, and I'll be able to see the entire list of travel claims. I can filter it based on the expense type. For example, we can say filter it based on the engineering expense, and I can perhaps filter it based on place as well. Now that's the whole idea of KISSflow. So to summarize, KISSflow is a very smart and simple way of building workflows, the exact terminology that Sunil used to describe the philosophy behind Google. Now you can build such business application with the same philosophy and extend the Google platform and deliver different products in different area to your customers. That's what we are here to talk about. When you develop such applications, remember, use Google APIs and create great experience with all your Google Apps product, especially the calendar, spreadsheets, and mails part of it. And remember, Google Apps is a very powerful platform, and Google App Engine is a very sophisticated platform to build this application. Use that. It's a very scalable infrastructure. So to learn more about this product, we will be having deep dive sessions in track 3 and also in cloud platform. So be sure to attend that. That's there in track 3, if I'm right, and find your calendar and go for it. Now, KISSflow, if you want to suggest to other companies, it's free for 10 users, so go ahead and suggest it. There is also a contest that we recently announced. It's called War of Workflows. So if you're good at developing workflows, go ahead and define workflows and tweet about it. You get to win a Nexus 7 tablet. So keep your creative juices flowing. All the best. Thanks a lot.
Ladies and gentlemen, give a big hand for Mani Swami, everyone.
Thanks a lot, Mani, for a nice introduction about and just a small token of appreciation, I want to give one of these mugs to Mani, and thanks, Dinesh, for your help. So that was all from the Andaz Apna Apna movie is still going on. I should. So that was all from my side. But I just want to take 2 more minutes and say you something. I see this crowd not at all clapping, not roaring, shouting. No, listen. Don't shout or don't clap because I am saying. Please understand that we all Googlers and all our friends from Viscraft have been working really hard on this event only with one thing in our mind, to make your day memorable. So please make sure to have fun. If this is not fun, go outside. There are a lot of game zones. You can have coffee, you can have lunch. Please have fun. Remember, this day is not going to come in your life again. And you will regret that later on, that you never had fun at one of the Google events. So the only thing that I really want to say is just be true to yourself and have fun throughout the day. Thanks a lot.